Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. We start with news from St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis is planning to crack down on human traffickers who either smuggle people illegally into the country or use it as a transshipment point to facilitate the trade. Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs Garth Wilkin said at a recent Prime Minister's news conference that legislation has been created to deal with the pressing issue. Quote unquote, "We are trying to deal with the smuggling of persons into the Federation. We have created a standalone anti-smuggling bill and amendments to the Immigration Act and Transnational Crimes Act to address this issue, which is becoming heightened and a more frequent national security matter," he said. St. Kitts and Nevis recently had to deal with a situation where a migrant boat which left Antigua and Barbuda with 30 Cameroonians on board sank in its territorial waters. 16 of the West Africans died at sea. We now look at news from Venezuela. A Kenyan court has sentenced a former top Venezuelan diplomat to 20 years in jail over the 2012 murder of Latin American nation's acting ambassador at her home in an upmarket Nairobi neighborhood. Dwight Sangare, who was the first secretary at the embassy, was convicted along with 3 Kenyan nationals in January for the killing of Olga Fonseca. Judge Rosalind Correa sentenced all 4 men to 20 years in jail. Sangare could be tried for the murder because he was stripped of diplomatic immunity following the crime, the court ruled. Fonseca was found strangled in her bedroom less than 2 weeks into her posting to Nairobi. Sangare, who had been heading the mission before the arrival of Fonseca, was angered by her presence, as he wanted to continue overseeing the embassy, the court found. The global community is being urged to take immediate action to slow the effects of climate change, which evidence shows has over several years resulted in development of significant catastrophic events across the world. These consequences of climate change are especially concerning to the more vulnerable regions, such as the Caribbean, as its impact continues to worsen. Every year, the Caribbean is exposed to potentially life-threatening weather phenomena like heat wave, drought, and earthquakes. Not to mention during the Atlantic hurricane season, June 1 to November 30, when the region begins to experience extreme weather conditions, including tropical storms, tropical depressions, and hurricanes, that leads to landslides, flooding, and loss of lives and property. More recently, on July 4, the Earth's temperature unofficially spiked to a record-breaking high, making it the hottest day experienced in decades. The globe's average temperature reached 62.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for watching. I'm TIANA.